Greetings to everyone watching me. Agondeze Joshua Samuel, and I came up with a database project about animal husbandry. Its title is Animal Husbandry Database Management System, and I'm a group 12. We begin by getting the community policing feedback, whereby we need the executive summary. This report presents the design and implementation of a database under animal husbandry that is developed using MySQL. The system addresses data management challenges faced by medium-scale livestock farms in Mbarara, and can be scaled to other districts across the country, where manual record keeping leads to data loss, poor traceability of animals' health, and inefficient feed management. The proposed database centralizes information on animals, employees, shelter, feed, and the feeding animal feed. Key outcomes include automated tracking of individual animal health, role-based reporting for farm managers. The logic uses 5 quantities with binary relationships only. Physical implementation was done using XAMPP, using MySQL, populated with data for I used 5 animals and different details. Sample queries demonstrate daily operations reports like feed consumption. When going to the business case, for the first part we need the application domain, and these are the operations that this database project supports. There is animal records management, whereby registration of new animals, tracking breed, gender, date of birth, and health status. Then the next is shelter management, monitoring shelter capacity and animal location. Feed inventory control. This helps us to know the feeds that are available on the farm, so that we can prepare accordingly for the animals to be fed. Then feeding operations. This records daily feeding activities per animal, quantity used, and the employee responsible for the feeding of the animals. Then the manager manages the employee data for the herdsman. In this project, the user groups served are the farm manager, veterinary officer, farm owner, and herdsman. Going to the analysis of costs, the project needs a laptop for the data management. Then the stats, you to train the staff that will be handling the data entry into this database. Then also at the start we also need the cloud services to host our database. Then the challenges on the user side, there is that they need skills. Caretaker have basic computer literacy, and the solution is my PHP admin, GUI, not raw SQL, the hard coding in the terminal. Second is adoption, resistance to change from paper. As we are designing these systems, some farmers may resist to, since they are somehow they just they want to remain on their used method of paperwork, but now we have a solution that run parallel for a month, for 1 month, so time saved, so that they can easily see the difference and then they join the database, electronic database. Then comparable system, studied farm breed and cattle marks. Risk assessment. As per this project, we also have to be aware of the possible risks that can happen, whereby important data may be lost due to the jump crashing, and that one can be addressed by requiring weekly backups to external drives or the cloud. Organizational single point for failure, whereby where we need to train 2 employees, maybe 2 or more employees as database admins. Then security, we have to also cater for security, that we have to limit the number of people that will be editing their data, and we have to be knowing who does what and who is in at this time. Then going to the application domain of the system, this system supports the security organizations, the police, allowing citizens to share feedback on police-led communities, whereby if the force has to be aware that what we are going to use this data for, and where it will be used. Going to the database logic, database design based on the requirements, we have the entities and attributes. In the animal table, we have animal ID, species, breed, gender, date of birth, health status, shelter, employee ID. Feeding, in the feed table, we have feed ID, feed name, feed type, and quantity. Under the employee table, we have employee ID, first name, last name, role, phone number, and the employment date. Then in the shelter table, we have shelter ID, shelter name, location, capacity, and shelter type. Then animal feeding table, we have feeding ID, animal ID, feed ID, employment ID, feeding date, quantity, and notes. Then here is the ERD diagram, starting with the employee and whereby the employee manages the animal, and the shelter houses the animals, Those are some of the relations. The employee records animal feeding, and the feeds are used in the animal feeding. Mm. This is the database implementation in the terminal. This is a description of the animal feeding table. This this contents of the table named shelter, where we have different data. Then this is the description of employee table. Then this is the contents of employee table. Then this is the description of feed table and the contents of the feed table as well. Then description of animal feeding table, description of animal table. Then these are the contents of the animal table that I have. These are the contents of the applying the queries. This is the contents of the animal feeding table. The, this is the description of the animal feeding table. Then the conclusion, the community policing feedback needs to be carried out so that the farmers are aware of what happens in the farms. That is my presentation. Thank you.